Welcome back, everybody. I hope everyone is doing fine today, and let's get started. Our first root is pyro, meaning fire and heat. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example word, and that is pyro. Sorry about that. Pyrotechnics. And that is the art of making fireworks. I'm going to go ahead and use this word in a sentence. Pyrotechnics can be a dangerous, sorry about that, spelled that wrong. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. Pyrotechnics can be a dangerous job. Moving on to our next root. We have finished the letter P. Now we are going to go ahead and start with the letter Q. Our first root of the letter Q is quad, or in quadri. And quad or quadri means four, as in the number 4. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. Quadruped, meaning a 4-footed animal. I'm going to go ahead and use this in a sentence. I'm going to say a dog, sorry about that, and a cat is a quadruped. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you one more time. A dog and a cat is a quadruped. Moving on to our next root, which is quart, quart, and that means fourth. I'm going to go ahead and write that here also, fourth, and I'm going to give you an example, and that is quarter, meaning 1/4. 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and use this in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. The first quarter earnings were low. Moving on to our next root is quint, meaning 5 or fifth. 5 or fifth. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example word. I'm going to say quintuple, and that means fivefold. I'm going to go ahead and use quintuple in a sentence. The couple was expecting twins, but they had quintuplets. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you guys. The couple was expecting twins, but they had quintuplets. Moving on to our next root, we have finished the letter Q and we are moving to the letter R. And the first excuse me, and the first letter or root, I should say, of the letter R is radic, meaning root. And I'm going to go ahead and give you an example word, and that's going to be radical. Sorry about that. Radical. And that means fundamental, looking at things from a realistic point of view. I'm going to go ahead and use radical in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. He and his friend had radical ideas. Moving on to our next root is radio, meaning radiation, or ray. I'm going to go ahead and give you an example word, and that is radioactive. And that means emitting radiation. I'm going to go ahead and use radioactive in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. The nuclear waste dumped in the lake was highly radioactive. Moving on to our next root. Is re. And this is a very important root, you guys, one of the backbones of the English language. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in a box and put a star next to it after I give you the meaning. And the meaning is again, back, or backwards. I'm going to go ahead and give you a couple of example words here. One of them is rewind. Sorry about that. Rewind. And that means to wind something back. I'm going to give you another example. Is recognize. And I'm going to give you the definition, and that means to identify someone seen before. I'm going to go ahead and use rewind in a sentence. Before I move on, I would like to point this out. This is a very important root, so I'm going to go ahead and put a star here. Right, now let's form our sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. Please rewind the videotapes before returning them. On to our next root is reg. And reg means to guide and to rule. And I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. One of them is regime. And regime means a government that rules. And I'm going to go ahead and use regime in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. Excuse me. The current regime in the country is not popular among its people. Moving on to our next root is retro. And retro means backward. And back. And I'm going to go ahead and use that in a sentence. I'm sorry, first of all, I'm going to give you the definitions first, an example word, then I'm going to use it in a sentence. Retrospect, meaning the remembering of past events. I'm going to go ahead and use this in a sentence now. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. The retrospect of the man was dark and cruel as he remembered his childhood. Moving on to our last roots, which is rhino, meaning nose. And I'm going to go ahead and give you an example. And that is rhinoceros. And that means a animal with a big horn on its nose. I'm going to go ahead and use rhinoceros in a sentence. I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. A rhinoceros can run up to 50 miles per hour. That is it for now, you guys. Thank you for listening. Hope to see you next time.